All right, everyone. Here we are, Joe and Mike back again, buildassetsonline.com. Welcome to the stream. Today, we're going to be talking about, I don't even know what we're going to be talking about. Mike just told me, but I forgot already. Something about how dropshipping is still the best business model for beginners in 2021. And,
Yeah,
right? What are we going to,
we could talk about it.
what are we going to say about that?
I guess why don't we just say that and leave it at that and end the stream.
All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out the online asset playbook, buildassetsonline.com/playbook, and we'll see you next time.
Take it easy. No, seriously. This was just a topic that had come into my head just based off of our interactions with, all the students we have in the elite fleet, and the majority of them are doing drop shipping, but just we work a lot of, we do a lot of one-on-one, we do a lot of calls, but also Joe, we do a lot of other businesses. We walk the walk and talk the talk. So we have just a huge portfolio of websites, whether it's SEO, whether it's drop shipping. We talk about the land business, Kindle, all that. And, I was really inspired by a call that some recent calls that I've done. Um, for example, one with a student who has a store that is pretty niche down. It's not exactly what we recommend, but we were going over his ads, and we were tweaking a few things, and so while he hadn't really made a lot of sales, he then after we had a couple sessions, he wound up making a sale, and if it was, I forgot how much it was. I think it was over $1,000 or $2,000, and he had 50% margin on that product. And so I wanted to kind of take a look at that situation, and that's super common, and compare it to a lot of the other stupid situations that go on with some of our other businesses, but some of the things that we don't do, like a more standard business, and why most standard businesses are actually setting you up to fail. So how does that sound, Joe? Should we talk about that?
Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. Yeah, I guess we could talk about it. I'm looking for I really wanted to get a soundboard into today's episode, so I'm looking for one. Um, so I think that's a little harsh that you're putting it as other business models are setting you up to fail, but I do think that the nature of dropshipping is more, at least the way we do it. Not. Don't get it twisted, but it's more setting you up to succeed because there's so many things that are in your favor. You got the high margins, you got intent-based marketing, meaning you're giving what people are searching for, so they're willing to buy. You have a customer service edge over the competition because you can provide better customer service than other retailers, even if they're big brands selling the same products. You can provide better customer service and provide and outdo them with the ads because they're not really focused on the particulars the way you would be. So there's a lot of things working for you, I would say, whereas other business and of course the investment up front. So think about this: you start an Amazon business, you start selling stuff on Amazon. You need to buy the inventory, you need to give away products to do reviews, and you need to do PPC before you even make a sale, and that first sale is not going to be profitable. With dropshipping, the only thing you're going to pay for is the PPC out of the gate, and that can get you a very profitable sale at the gate, out of the gate.
And Joe, you kind of just spoiled the whole talk right there, because that's really the grand point, is that other businesses require so much on the front end, whether it's a friggin' business plan to get a loan so you can get capital, so you can hire people, so you can get your location opened up. And now what's going to happen? Or, even a SEO site, how we got to set up the articles, we got to really pre-plan everything beforehand. Dropshipping, high ticket dropshipping, the way that we teach it, you're only big expense is advertising, and your margins are huge. And so you're having your only expense be a write off and having it be so small compared to your actual margin just makes everything so easy for a beginner. Because as a beginner, how can you expect to execute properly if there's 5 to 10 expensive steps before you can even open your doors?
Yeah. And I would say next in line is the next in line in terms of things you should do as of right now. Kindle or the SEO based sites. But the thing with those is, like you said, it's the pre planning. And the first time you do it, odds are, I don't know one person that's made a site that's going to be just solely reliant on ranking in Google. Now, so where they like pre-planned their first site correctly from the beginning. That is like very, very rare. But at least with dropshipping, it's not 100% reliant on SEO. In fact, you can have a very profitable site with no search engine optimization to begin with, no pre-planning to begin with, more adapt as you go because you see what keywords are doing well because of the ads. So, yeah, you don't have that. Since there's no business plan, there's no pre-planning, you can't just like plan wrong and then fail because you planned wrong. And I think that's a big
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, you're more fluid, and I'm not talking about your gender, Joe. I'm talking about how you can go from having one business and you can one drop shipping business, a site, certain suppliers, all that, and you can completely pivot to expanding that site or getting a whole bunch of different suppliers and tweaking your ads. And you can, especially if it's just you, because I think the problem with a lot of businesses and why most businesses fail within 5 years is that they have too much holding them down. If you're super flexible in your business, there's really no possible way that you can fail. Because think about this, if you have a storefront, you have a lease that you're paying monthly rent. Maybe you've purchased that and you're paying some sort of mortgage. And so now you need to have employees that are there. These are all fixed costs that are completely bound to the business. You cannot get rid of them while still maintaining your business. Dropshipping, since it can be just you in there running the entire show and making a few $1,000s a month quite easily. I mean, we did that for years, Joe, before we even hired an employee. But the key is we did not have any fixed expenses to tie us to the business while we were learning and failing and figuring out the proper way to do everything. So
Absolutely.
even if we needed to, we didn't know, we were kind of struggling with our ads, we were having difficulties with this and this and that, we just lowered our ads. And I think, when we first started, we maybe had our ads going at like $10 to $20 a day.
Yeah.
So we were building a business solely off of $10 to $20 a day, $300 to $600 a month total to run a business.
And I actually think what you're saying there, I think some of our students even make that mistake, is that they get, sometimes if their ads don't like perform the way that they want to out of the gate, they just kind of freak out instead of just making their ads super low, spending a little bit per day, bidding low. And that's really what we recommend when you're first getting started. I think a lot of people, we interviewed Binda last time, but he obviously didn't give a fluff. He was like, he was just, I'm going to spend. And then, and you could do that if you have the money, but the way you really do it is you start slow, you build over time. Dropshipping allows you to do that if you do it correctly. But I think a lot of people they make the mistake of wanting to do too much too fast when they don't realize that the biggest advantage of this business model is that you can start with nothing and just build it extremely slowly.
Yeah, because if you're doing things in a way that's super low cost and super flexible, you can always get new suppliers, you can always change things up, make new stores, then seriously, how could you fail unless you turn your ads off? And so that's why we tell people, why would you ever turn your ads off for something unless a supplier is actually causing you problems and like you want to get rid of them.
Yeah.
I would never turn my ads off for products that aren't selling, because you could always just sell. You just turn your ads low, and then you get super cheap clicks, 10 cents, 20 cents, and it's almost impossible to lose.
Yeah.
So,
hey, Mike, I
compare
just
that to anything else.
while we're talking about this, I just registered for this new Skype number. How about we take a couple calls? We didn't plan this, but
If you think you can,
I'll splash the phone.
finesse that.
I'll splash the phone number out there, and we could take a couple calls. So all right, guys, you want to talk to us live on air? We don't have this very sophisticated figured out, but we'll just see how this goes.
How are you gonna do it?
I'll just put my phone on speaker next to the mic so you can hear it also.
Okay.
All right, so give us a call if you want to ask us a question. 973-536-2761. Call us now. I'll put the number in the chat. 973-536-2761. All right. Give us a call, and we'll start taking your first come first serve. The lines are.
But yeah, while that's going on, contrary to what we're talking about, one of the things that got me, thinking about this topic was how, like in our land business, for example, we can make a lot of money on a particular land deal, but the amount of time that it takes to send out the mail, get the deals in, go through the deals, decide that I want to buy the property, send it in to an attorney or a title agency, and then get the property closed, sell it, and then have it closed again. This takes months. Yeah. So this is only something that I think, we can recommend to people that have money that they don't care to, just send it off and let it sit and, have it come back in, a few months or a few weeks at best. So it's like, if I was thinking about like back in the day, if we were to just be doing this business, I think it would have taken us much longer to get to the point that we are now. If we had to wait so long to turn our money over. And on top of that, when we buy land, it's not a write-off.
No, and that's a big issue. Is that when we buy a $50,000 property, we don't get to write off that cost. That's that's not within the extent of the tax laws. But when we advertise, we can advertise as much as we want, and you can write that off. So that's a big factor within itself. This is not tax advice. Please consult your CPA or tax attorney for tax advice. Yeah,
and that's so powerful. People don't even get it, that the only big expense in dropshipping is a write-off, and that's your advertising cost. Like, for us to, I don't know, we got demolished this tax season, I would say, Joe.
We got sloshed.
Yeah. And, it just got me thinking about like ways to avoid having to pay so many taxes. So many taxes I pay. And
we got a call. Wait. We got a call coming in.
Oh God.
Wait, hold on. It's not coming in on my phone though.
Radio.
It's not coming in on my phone. Oh, that's annoying. Oh. Hey, let me call this.
We really do things on the fly here.
Let me call this person back. Hold on. I'm calling you back.
Oh my goodness.
This is a disaster. Hold on. I gotta, whoever's calling, I gotta call you back on my phone because it's coming in on my computer. Let me turn Skype off on my computer.
Well, in the meantime, Joe, should I go to
Hold on,
some of the chat questions? I hear it ringing. Let's see.
Welcome to the show. You're on air with Build Assets Online.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound good. What's your name?
My name is Jonathan. I've been subscribed to you guys for a couple of months, and I just had a couple of questions when it came to ad budget, when it comes to Google for my bids, and I have one store. It would be considered low ticket compared to you guys. It would be women's leggings and body corsets, and another product that I'm going to sell is 3D printers. I just had a couple of questions when it comes to you guys' expertise when it comes to Google.
Well, as far as the leggings and the corsets, where are you sourcing that stuff from?
I have a USA supplier here, so I pretty much use you guys' methods of accessing suppliers.
Okay. How much are they priced? Just curious.
$79.99.
Okay. Well, that is much lower than we would recommend, but all right, I guess let's get to the question.
Because I was planning to do $45 a day when it came to the women's clothing store, and I wanted to do $100 a day when it came to the 3D printers. And I wanted to know, am I betting too big, too early, or do I need to slow this thing a little bit down?
Yeah. Can Jonathan hear me, Joe? Or he would just hear me through his
Oh, that's true.
live stream.
Yeah, he would hear you through the live stream. That's true. That's kind of a problem, is that he can't hear you. I didn't really plan this out, Jonathan. Yeah.
So let me just answer the question on the live stream, and then we'll go back to him.
That's how we'll do.
Well,
Well, that's what we'll do. Is I think we have to take one question, Jonathan, and then hang up, and then Mike can answer the question, and that'll be it. I don't think we can go back and forth because we just set this up really poorly. But Mike will answer the question, and thanks for the call.
Okay, thank you. Have a blessed day.
You too. Bye.
Appreciate you guys as well.
You too. Bye.
All right. So thank you, Jonathan, for calling. And so for those that couldn't hear too well, his question was, he has a low ticket store that he's going to be running ads to, as well as a high ticket store selling 3D printers. And so his question was, he's selling leggings and corsets at around $80, and he wants to have his ads budget at around $45 a day. And on the other hand, he wants to have his 3D printer store budget around, I think he said $80 to $100 a day. And he's asking if he's on the right track there. And so, Jonathan, I would say, first of all, your ads budget isn't necessarily indicative of how your ads are going to perform. So, I mean, we've actually talked in depth about low ticket stuff, and our cousin used to have a store that was selling leggings, in fact, and it's going to be a lot harder than you think to sell those. And the problem with looking at it from a budget standpoint is that it doesn't take into account how much you're spending on a click. So if your budget is $45 a day, but you're competing with all Lululemon and all these other brands, and you have to spend $2 to get a click, then that's only 20 clicks a day. And so in a space where no one knows your brand name, that's not going to do much for you. And we're talking about Google ads here. Doing Facebook ads and low ticket items such as leggings, we really don't recommend it. I wouldn't even recommend you do this legging store in the first place. You should instead commit all that budget to your high ticket products. And so for one, I could guarantee your clicks will be just as much or cheaper than the leggings, just because of the competitiveness of the space. But again, it's going to come down to how much you're actually spending on a click and what those search terms are. And so, in our membership and our courses, we talk about spending, how to segment things. So you can spend a little bit on the cheap generic stuff and then spend more on the super targeted brand names. Joe, am I frozen?
You're back now.
Can you hear me?
You're back now. You were frozen for a second. Yeah.
Cool. I see myself frozen on the stream. So I hope that answers the question. My recommendation is to get rid of that legging store, put all your budget into the high ticket store, but focus on segmenting your campaigns so that you can spend more money on the actual branded search terms. And so, for you or anyone listening, we talk all about that in our course. And, provide coaching calls where we go over this stuff, and our students are having a lot of success with it. Even to this day, Joe, people are starting new stores, and we've seen everything before, and it just still works. People start stores, and then it blows me away, the sales that our students are getting.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that we talk about a lot, Jonathan, is that when you're doing something like leggings, and Mike mentioned Lululemon, Lululemon doesn't necessarily, or like a big clothing store for that matter, they don't care if they lose money on one legging sale. Like, their whole objective with their Google ads is not to be profitable. Like, they just want to get you on the back end email system so that they can keep emailing you new stuff and that you buy new stuff when it comes out, because they know that if you bought from them once and you're happy, you're likely to buy from them again. So that's why places like that are doing their Google advertising. When you're trying to be profitable out of the gate, it's a little bit, you have to set your objectives differently. So that's, we don't just recommend high ticket just for the fun of it or because of the US suppliers necessarily. It's because when it comes to how you budget stuff out, the math works out better, because you can pay. We've had stores where it's kind of funny. So on our website, we have this screenshot of when we got a click for 1 cent for some random thing, and it got us like a $7,000 sale. But on that store, so we would get clicks like that, some super, super cheap clicks. But on that store, if we were advertised for certain keywords, we would sometimes pay a lot per click, like $5, $7. Like, how much was it, Mike? Like for
$12.
$12 for some of the products.
The same products that we would sell for we would get a click for 1 cent and make $7,000 at 50% profit too, free shipping. So it was actually a really sweet product for us. But at the time, we had never sold that product before. So I would never bid $12 out the gate, especially at that point, Joe. We were not even that successful. I remember when we got that sale, I was driving to your house many, many years ago. So it was a long drive. And I freaked out. I think I called you. And I mean, in many ways, like that sale was very influential to us, because it showed us we didn't have to spend that much money to get such a large return back. And I mean, for us at that time, to get several $1,000s off of one sale without spending that much, it's just, how can you beat that? They gave us so much more momentum to build off of and reinvest. So business is all about reinvestment, but a lot of beginners don't have a lot to even invest in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was pretty good. I mean, that was pretty good to take a call. I think next time what we could do is I can share my screen with you on Google, and then if I share audio as well, then maybe you should be able to hear it. But I don't know. I'll figure something out. I just wanted to
test it next time.
I wanted to do a test run to see if someone actually called, and someone called.
Yeah,
so.
I know this is really it's really fulfilling to you to be an AM radio host, Joe.
Well, because if you watch Dave Ramsey, like, and what he does is people call in. They're like, Dave, I got $50,000 in credit card bills, and I don't know what to do. And he just gives them advice, but it's good because number one, you get to see like what people are actually like. It's better than a chat because you can get more in depth as to like what they're thinking. And also, like, I don't know, I feel like you can it's more entertaining for the audience as well, I feel like, to hear people's voices. So yeah, I think it'd be a good thing to do.
I felt like AM radio, it really did.
Yeah.
But AliExpress.
Yeah.
We're merging a lot of worlds together. I like it. So yeah.
So
guys, send us some chats, or I don't know. Yeah, are we shutting down the lines, Joe?
You could call back. Well, we'll have to do it the same thing. You ask the question, and then I have to hang up. So
okay.
973-536-2761. The phone lines are open. Build Assets Online. Give us a call. So you were talking about everything that goes into the land business and everything like that. And I want to talk a little bit about the blogging businesses because I recently had like I don't even know what to call it, but like a spurt where I was really into it again for like a week, and I'm trying to figure out like how we're gonna really take it to the next level, because we're talking about our ultimate retirement plan, I guess, in the next like what businesses we're gonna have when we want to have the very minimum like inputs. And obviously for that, the blogs are on the table, but it's just still something that, you know, I'm still learning it. It's just not as easy as the drop shipping stuff. And I'm in I've spoke with many other people who, you know, all they do is blogs, and or attempting to. And it's just so much of a steeper learning curve, because if you're relying 100% on Google organic traffic, like we always talk about, you have to wait 6 to 8 months to see if what you did is working. And then you have to figure out, why is it working? Why is it not working? If I do this a little bit differently, is it going to work different? And then you have to wait even longer, and then you have to wait again to see if the changes you made are working. So it's very, very difficult like that. And then all this time, you know, you have to be investing money or massive amounts of time. If you're going to be writing content yourself, you got to be investing that into your site and not even knowing if it's going to amount to anything at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. And we're about 4 or 5 years in on this SEO project, Joe, right? And even to this day, you're having breakthroughs.
Yeah.
So
well,
in my opinion, this is a very long time it's a very long process to go through, that 5 years down the line, you know, while we have a lot of success with SEO now, which in itself took a couple of years, but it's just like, it just will not stop unraveling, just new layers and new layers and new layers. When will it end? And so I can't recommend that someone with no business experience goes into that.
Yeah.
Because even though, you know, it's great for us, they may not be able to commit the time and energy that's necessary to peel back all of these layers. And I think we do a really good job of breaking down the 80-20 of blogging in the advanced blog blast off course inside the membership. But yeah, like if we really want to take this thing to the next level and start consistently ranking for short tail keywords, then it just requires more and more mastery. And like a lot of the SEOs, you know, a lot of the big names in the space have been at it for like 10 to 20 years.
Yeah. And when we say big names in the space, it's actually pretty interesting. And I want to talk about this for a second, because I feel like this applies to like anything you could do on the internet. Like if you're trying to learn an internet marketing business, I feel like it kind of works the same across the board. So I'll give you some examples. You have like these big names, like like Brian Dean and Neil Patel, who like, it's not that they give necessarily, I don't want to say like a bad advice, but it's not like specific. It's not always specific to what you want to do, if that makes sense. Like you can learn something from it, but then there's people that might not have as big of a presence, and they're kind of, so you have SEOs that are like doing these, like you watch their podcast, they have like 1,000 subscribers, they have like 15 views per video, and they're talking about like the most in-depth stuff that you would never hear from like, you know, like Brian Dean or Neil Patel. Like you just wouldn't hear about it from them.
Yeah.
They're just talking, it's just like a totally different world when you compare like the big names in anything to like the, you know, like the more smaller, in-depth, shows. And I was kind of like our show, but we're getting too big now at this point. We're about to sell out completely.
I think we do it all. I think we can give pretty basic answers, cookie cutter stuff like, Brian Dean, but we could also get very technical. We've climbed the ladder and climbed back down.
Yeah. Brian Dean has pioneered a lot of things. I'm not saying that he hasn't, but I'm just saying
Like what?
Well, he invented the skyscraper technique and a lot of.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Good for him.
there's just something where it's like. I don't
do a good Brian Dean impression, Joe.
No, I can't. I like Brian. I don't dislike Brian Dean. I feel like his advice is a lot better than Neil Patel's, honestly. But I'm just saying that there's many layers.
Well, Brian Dean stabbed Neil Patel in the back, right? In order to.
Yeah, I think he used to work for Neil Patel.
Fame.
I think he used to work for Neil Patel. Oh, we got a call coming in.
It's Neil Patel.
Hold on a sec. I gotta call this person back on the phone again.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta set it up differently. Hello, you are on the air with Build Assets Online. Mike and Joe here. Please state your name and question. Oh, he hung up. Let me call him back.
What the hell is that?
I don't know.
Calling him again?
Yeah, I wanted to.
Oh.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, you're on air with Mike and Joe at Build Assets Online. Please state your name and your question, please.
Hey, so my name's Aaron. I just had a quick question. Hold on here. I think you're calling me.
Oh, man, it keeps... I don't know what's happening. We don't have this figured out yet. It keeps hanging out. I think his name was Aaron, so maybe he's the guy in the chat that left the question.
Yeah, maybe it's Aaron. Jerez in the chat. Jerez. All right, screw the calls. We're interrupting the... Yeah, that's him. We're interrupting the user experience. I feel bad for the people that listen to this on Spotify.
Why?
I know a lot of people find us because it's just shenanigans. But, okay, Aaron, I'll answer your question here. You said in the chat, how much do you guys bid on branded and skew terms in the beginning? And so what Aaron is referring to is when you're doing Google ads, I was talking about with the previous question from Jonathan about how we like to segment out like generic terms and segment out the branded / skew terms. Skew is like the product ID. So really, really specific. So how much do we bid on those in the beginning? And of course, it's not going to be a one size fits all answer, right? I can never make it easy. But the one piece of advice that I can give is it has to be something that you're comfortable with. So if it's a new store, you're new to dropshipping, then just start low. Start at 80 cents. Start at $1 if that's if you're feeling bullish. When we did that interview with Binda, he had already had a successful business doing low ticket dropshipping even and was familiar with everything. So in that example, he wasn't scared to go balls to the walls and spend a lot of money and spend a lot on clicks. And he was actually rewarded for that. But I wouldn't recommend that normal people do that because if they do it wrong, they're going to take a pretty decent loss and it's going to be discouraging for them. So in the beginning, you don't know out of your suppliers, out of all their products, what's going to sell well. So like I said, start out low, start out less than $1, see how that goes. And then as you get sales on things, start increasing the bids. And we have this whole strategy mapped out inside the course, but that would be my recommendation. Because I would never bid more than $1 on a brand or even like a product type I wasn't sure of until it validated itself.
Yeah. Well, that answers that.
Yeah. We got to figure out the call thing, Joe. I like your intro.
Hey, how you doing, Joe?
I feel like so I'm starting up my dropshipping store, and what do you think about ceiling fans?
I think it's kind of fun. Like, wait, do you ever listen to that? Like the sports radio?
I mean, I have in the past, and I was actually listening to a Dave Ramsey thing yesterday. I'd never listened to Dave Ramsey,
Yeah.
but I did like, I don't know, I saw some video for the first time, and it was the same. It was kind of like what we did here.
Yeah.
You know, hey Dave, me and my husband make 6 figures a year, and we just moved to.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. It could be fun to take calls like that.
Yeah, I think it'll be good once we get it set up. So what else can we talk about? We're talking about Brian Dean. We're talking about Neil Patel. But anyway, I find that they, like, in terms of the there's people like really in the trenches of SEO experimentation, and I feel like those people are. It's weird. They're always on the camera with like some $2 headset and like 5 views on their video. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, it's different than like the internet marketer that's like all got everything like scripted out, and they know exactly what they're gonna say, and the cuts are perfect. And yeah,
I mean, SEO is like just as complex and intricate as Magic the Gathering, so they kind of treat it like that. It's just this. You had a good phrase for it a couple years ago when we were watching a different channel. You were like, it's just a video game to them, and it's never ending. I forgot how.
Yeah, I was like, basically,
it,
like,
but
some of these people are so like nerdy, like they don't even. I get the feeling like they don't even care about making money. Like, they just want to like slay the dragon, like the Google.
Yeah,
dragon.
yeah. And I think you have to have that a little bit to be involved with SEO.
Well, that's how that's when I catch the wave. Like I was on a real, like, going very deep into this the past week. That's what it felt like for me. It's like, I just, like, holy shit. Like, I just want to slay the dragon. Like, I just want to, understand the algorithm at a little bit of a deeper level, so that obviously I want to use it to make money, but it's still driven by that feeling.
Yeah. Whereas with dropshipping, I would say everybody likes a nice ka-ching.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's just it's a personality thing to be good at SEO. You have to be really persistent, really patient, really willing to dig into the intricate details. Whereas someone like Jared, like, imagine him trying to do SEO.
Yeah, I can't imagine it.
He can barely even read.
That's what I was gonna say that, but I don't even know. I didn't know if that was too harsh.
I'm sure if he's watching this, he laugh at that. But yeah, no, but it's still like dropshipping. No matter where you're at, you can apply whatever hire out the rest, because a lot of it is really simple: product uploads, website design, and little tweaks like that. Get on the phone, get some suppliers, start ads, and just pray to the e-commerce gods.
Yeah, and you can learn, and just to say something, if you have a dropshipping store that's converting well with Google Ads, you already have a huge SEO advantage. Like, what products you're going to sell. You're actually a little bit better in the eyes of Google in a brand new site, because the site's been open for a while. You're actually paying Google, so they kind of they view you as more of like an entity or like a thing than like a real new site. It's just like you're off to a much better foundation, even just by making a dropshipping store, knowing nothing about SEO. Because you can do
Joe,
it later.
did we confirm if Google 100% ranks you better organically if someone has already been on your site?
Well, I don't listen. I'm not sitting here running SEO tests, so I think so I don't think there's any way that I can know that. But from what I've heard people say, it's not necessarily going to, like, that alone is not going to like be like the major factor. but it's like you can. It might give you a little bit of an edge if you have a real site with real traffic. It's like, and you say you go build links or something. It's less suspicious, if that makes sense. Like you're less at stake, you're less at risk for like a penalty of some sort or like an algorithmic penalty, because Google knows like, hey, people are coming to your site, like there's something here. Whereas if you just have a random blog and then it gets a bunch of links with no visitors, then it can be more of a problem.
Well, no, what I mean is, like if you're on a website, say you're on a blog, and then you search for a term that blog is already ranking for your search results, that blog will now be ranked higher.
Oh, absolutely.
In your search results.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, so then we can say with confidence that running paid traffic has a major impact on your organic traffic.
Yeah.
Because we talk a lot about like retargeting and, using like lists to do paid retargeting, but this is almost like free retargeting that Google is doing for you, right?
I think so. I mean, I can't say I 100% confirmed it, but I feel like it's funny. Just the other day, I was like searching for something. I don't even remember what it was. I was like, why is this site coming up? And I was like, oh, it's because I was on here. That happens all the time.
Yeah, exactly. That's why, like, whenever you're like, oh, we're ranking for this, like, search this, but you have to search in a private browser.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I always for our own stuff.
Because of that.
Yeah.
Because of that reason, your personalized search results are influenced by the sites that you've already been on.
Absolutely.
So it would make sense to even spend more money to get traffic just for the organic retargeting play.
Yeah.
No?
I mean, if you have something that's making money, yeah, you could. You should.
All right. Heard it here. All right. Well, let's get to some chats here, and then we'll call it quits, because I think we're beating a dead horse at this point. My dog's gonna wake up any minute, and he's gonna piss on the floor. So cool. Wayward said you can't tune in, but you know it's gonna be fire. That's true. Paul said, Mike balling out in a new location. No, same location, just different area. Genti Nadochi said, give us some niches on high ticket. Well, Genti, we've made many videos on this. So just search build assets online niche, possibly. Matthew said, what are the chances of a unique general store from succeeding? What are the chances of a unique general store succeeding? It's kind of an oxymoron, a unique general store. So, I mean, it just depends what methods you follow. I'd say if you follow things the way that we do it, maybe you can call what we do unique general stores, I guess. And I mean, we seem to have a pretty high success rate. But a lot of times people talk about courses. Yeah.
What do you think about? Do you see big, small stores working in the future?
Yeah, I do. If I make a big, small store, what's the chance that I'm going to be making $10,000 in 3 months? How long will it take? How much money do I have to spend? What suppliers do I have to? Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm honestly surprised by our success rate with the Elite Fleet members.
Yeah.
Because you talk about a lot of people who sell courses, they say how low the percentage is of people that take action. And I think the kind of one-on-one threads push people to do stuff well enough that it actually winds up working. So
I feel like we've never had, and this is the same with Land Academy. I heard them say this once. but I feel like we've never had someone say like the course was the problem or like our methods are like no good. It was always like oh, I don't have, if I can't pursue this at this very moment, or like, something like that. Like anyone who like hasn't been like just making a bunch of sales, like it's never like we never had like one bad thing about like the material and like our service.
Yeah, and I wish I could say the same about other courses that we've taken, Joe.
Yeah, but we can't.
Amazing selling machine. Okay. Um, do you guys start with high ticket or low ticket? Start with high ticket and end with high ticket. Israel. Austin asks, what's the most annoying thing you had to deal with in the beginning of high ticket, and how did you deal with it? I'm building a store with my partner right now on the supplier calling step, by the way. Well, nice, Austin. I would say the most annoying part is where you are now, because you're in the process of building something from nothing. And so you don't have much to show for your efforts right now. And you don't have much clout to lure in suppliers with. So this is really the part of the process with the most friction. And then once you start getting sales, once you start figuring out like what you like to sell and suppliers you like, it only gets easier, and then you could just expound on that. And then, what do you think about that, Joe?
I honestly spaced out for a second.
What's the most annoying thing you had to deal with in the beginning of high ticket, and how'd you deal with it?
I think definitely like the customer calls. Like I remember there was this lady that called once, like before we had everything outsourced. Like she called you and she left a message, and she's like, "This is the worst customer service I've ever experienced." And like that's stressful. Like I don't like having like an unresolved matter with someone, especially when there's like money involved. Like it freaks me out. So that to me is stressful. But now that everything's outsourced, like I don't even think about it. Because all of it, like when someone is coming at you like that, like that's why like big corporations are the way that they are. Like Jeff Bezos is like, how many complaints do you think Amazon? Well, actually, he's not even the CEO anymore. But let's say Jeff Bezos is sitting in his ivory tower. The phone lines are ringing off the hook. My product got stolen off my porch, and it's the driver's fault, and you guys are the worst. And then they're having problems with like, not problems, but they're experiencing like, the work, with the employees, like union, like there's so many things being, negative things that as a CEO you'd have to deal with. Not saying that it's negative that they're unionizing per se, but I'm just saying like a lot of issues. People are unhappy with you. And so I think when you avoid that energy, I feel like it affects you a lot less.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to set a boundary with your business at a certain point. So get someone in to take calls as soon as possible, at least the existing customer calls. And then, just you push past the beginning part where you're just trying to get your feet wet, and you'll be good. And so Tom said, Jared was the whole reason I joined. I was like, OMG, this guy can make money. Well, I'm in. And my dog is now freaking out. Tom, hold on one second.
Yeah. I mean, look, making money persistence is probably like one of the main things of it. And Jared definitely has a lot of persistence. That's for sure. Israel says, are you guys taking calls right now? I think we're shutting down the phone lines until we come up with a better system on how to do it.
Yeah.
Good. Let him lick the microphone.
So. All right. Well, I guess let's.
Mike's dog is trying to eat the microphone. That's so funny.
Yeah. Well, that was good while it lasted. And
all right.
Anything to say for the people?
No. Well, we
I
got
was
one,
talking
one more
about-
question. Oh, to the dog. My question: when is a good time to leave your job and work full time? So you already have a store that's growing month over month, average 40K in sales. I don't think we could answer that question for you. You know when it's a good time to leave your job. I don't know if you have a family, how many bills you have,
Yeah.
how much debt, it's all dependent on that. We were lucky to get started pretty much out of college, before we had any responsibilities. So, I think Mike and I quit a bit earlier than most, not most people, but we were able to quit as soon as we started making money. But, if you were working a job, had kids, it might just take a little bit, just have to stick at it a little longer, outsource better, work smarter than we were working. But that's what we're here for.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, we had both quit our jobs before we even started dropshipping, just because we had other businesses. But even, our friend Raz, oh my God, our friend Raz quit his job before he started his store because he knew it was going to be a distraction to him. But he didn't have kids, he didn't have many obligations, and so the younger you are, if you know that this is the path that you want to take in your life, then you kind of just have to go for it because you don't have a lot to risk. And so my dog's going to fall here, so I'm going to turn my mic off and pick him up.
Yeah. And I would say the older you are, you can still do it. And I would say you are in just as good as a position to do it, but you have to work a little bit smarter. Like you have to outsource more from the beginning. There are plenty of people that run really successful online businesses that have just a full-time job. And they've just been able to do like crazy things just part-time and sometimes their job can help them because they know how to manage people and things like that. Like I would say that if you're at a job and the job helps you acquire certain skills, then it could be a good thing and gives you some extra money to where you're making money from your online business and money from your job. And so you can actually sometimes grow the business a lot faster because you could just throw money at it. And if you're directing it in the right way, then, wow.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was it's a good while it lasted. Took some calls, answered some questions.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, gave some good answers for people.
Yeah.
Made them realize how great of an opportunity dropshipping is right now. And we're not just saying that, like it is really crazy right now. If you haven't taken action already, then just you need to do it if you're considering it, because people are making new stores every day. People are getting new suppliers every day. And the clock is ticking.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. BuildAssetsOnline.com/playbook. You know where to find us. Check out the web class.